Please be advised that Little Miss Recap contains adult language. Hey guys, welcome to Little Miss Recap, the podcast where, I don't know, not much happens on this show and I don't know how much longer I can watch it. Thank God there's only one more episode.
Oh, I loved this week. Oh my
What
God.
happened?
The podcast where Hottie McCrimes sells his art.
He did get an amazing art show, which was fantastic. But that was
girl.
literally the only thing that happened. And then we got a tour of Jessica's Home Goods house.
Yeah, I know. I'm over that shit. But put Hottie McCrimes in a plaid blazer in front of me any day of the week, and I'm
He
fucking
looked great.
here for it.
And his art was a success. And I was
Yes.
very, very
Me
happy.
too. So happy for him.
Guys, we want to take just a minute and, trigger warning. We're going to discuss what had happened with Garrison Brown. We just want to take a minute because it feels weird not to acknowledge
Not
it at
to.
all.
Yeah.
And I did put out a statement. Hopefully you heard that about what is going to happen with the pod and stuff. But, Steph and I were wishing the Brown family well. And this is just, it's devastating. I mean,
it really is. I mean, heartbreaking.
it has hit
heartbreaking.
so many of us
Mhm.
podcasters. I don't know, like we just feel like we grew up like he grew up in front of our eyes, right? Like,
And it's like, and I'm looking at this not even as a podcaster, but just as
As a
somebody
parent.
as a parent, and just as someone who's watched this show long before podcasting was even a thing,
mhm.
and you
Yep.
feel a connection to these people, and I'm devastated for them. Like it's heartbreaking. It's utter tragedy. And I just really hope that people give this family the privacy and the space they need to grieve and
Yeah.
keep their opinions to themselves, because
And
I've
that's the
seen
thing,
a lot of
guys, like
stuff that's not cool.
that's the thing. Like I know how you guys feel about Cody.
Mhm.
I feel the same way, but
Mhm.
absolutely no parent deserves this. Like let's just
No,
have a moratorium on insulting him,
please.
going at him. Let's give him some grace here because this is he has a real hole to climb out of here, and I hope he
I
makes it. I hope the whole family can pull
Me
together
too.
and lean on each other, and I don't know.
I think they all have a hole to climb out of. I don't even think it's just Cody. I mean,
Yeah,
this
but with
whole
him being
family.
estranged, I mean, that's an
Of
added
course.
layer.
Of
Yeah.
course. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, I've seen some real shitty things over the last 24 hours on social media, and
Yep.
I don't have the space for that. So,
Yeah,
not cool.
absolutely. And so our hearts go out to the Brown family, and listen to my announcement that I put out last night if you want to hear, kind of what we're thinking going forward, and that's it. Okay. So, let's talk about Prison Brides.
Prison
Season
Brides.
1, episode 8. Episode 9.
9.
Sorry. What did you do?
What did you
Who is
do?
it in reference to?
I have no idea.
Is
I
it
actually,
Craig yelling at Jessica when she or Craig
with the
yelling at Jessica when she
boxes,
gets back from Amazon or whatever the Amazon
or
pickup place?
or was it Gabriella's mom? What
Oh,
did you do? That's what
yes,
I think it
yes, it
is.
was.
Yeah.
What have you wrought? Like she was devastated.
Oh, I
Oh,
know. I really felt for her mom, though. And you know what? I have something to say.
okay.
This episode, I had so many mixed emotions watching this week because,
Okay.
for starters, I was super turned on by Hottie McCrimes in his plaid blazer,
Aren't we
which
all?
I am fucking here for, you guys. If you know anything about me, you know that I love a guy in a quirky blazer, and this did it for me.
Mm-hmm.
So I loved that so much for him. But then there was that scene with Gabriella and her mother, and I was so touched by how kind and sweet and loving her mother was to her. And I don't know, maybe this is like I'm just a psycho that whenever I see like a mother-daughter relationship, like it
Mm-hmm.
hits me in the feels, because I've always wanted that and I've never really had it. But I was like really here for that mom. I'm like, I love this. Look how much she loves her kid.
She was okay. I thought at first though she was hilarious because she's sobbing and she's like, "What have you done? What have you done?"
I know.
And I'm like, how many of us have disappointed our parents in this way? Right here.
Right here. 2 of us right here, you
Yes.
guys.
And as parents, I'm sure we will be crying someday and saying, "What
Y
have you done? What have you done?" to
Yes,
our
I
children.
mean,
Yes.
Amy, we've already done that, let's be
It's
real. Maybe
it's
on a
the
much
cycle.
smaller scale,
Yeah.
but yeah.
It's the
Or
cycle of parenthood.
it
We all
sure is.
disappoint our parents, and that's
Of
okay.
course.
Whatever.
It is. It is.
So let's start with Jessica and Craig.
Little Craig. Craig
Do
is
the
not a
voice.
happy
Craig.
guy. Craig.
Craig.
Craig. Craig's
Craig's
not
not
a happy
happy.
guy.
Mm-mm.
Mm-mm.
She has a real elaborate baby's room.
Yeah, she does. I
My
actually feel
kids did
like
not have this.
no, mine didn't either. Probably because I could barely afford to
We
feed
were poor,
myself
right?
when
We
I
were
was
broke. Like
yeah.
my I think my mother took me to Burlington Coat Factory and we got
Yes!
the play set and it was like the safari one.
Yes, I
And
remember.
we just had basic cribs from like Walmart and like
Yep,
that was it. They didn't
yep,
even really have a nursery because we moved when they were a month old.
yeah.
So
So
they had temporary staging places throughout,
that's
where we were
funny.
going. It was weird.
So my boys had a room, like a nursery, I guess, but it wasn't that. And, I don't know.
This is beautiful.
It's beautiful. And I think she's done a really nice job on their whole house. I get,
Well, I
but
I agree until
I know. I already know.
what is the 2 shelves of tumblers?
Thank you. I didn't how many do they need with between I counted like 10 of them.
My sister is always, like, making fun of my kids because my girls are, as you guys know, 16, 17, and well, they're 17, but at the
Mhm.
time this joke was made, they were 16. They have a million tumblers, and my
Yeah,
sister's always like, "This is Tumblr culture,
it
Aim, like, get
is.
behind it,"
It
because
really is.
my sister thinks she's, like, in touch with the young generation. I don't know, maybe because she dates
Jenny?
thirty-year-olds, I have no idea why. But
Jenny, robbing the
she
cradle.
thinks that she is in touch with these people. So she's like, "Aim, it's Tumblr culture. Like, don't you know?"
Oh my god,
I have an
hilarious.
entire shelf in my kitchen dedicated to tumblers, but it's in a cabinet
Oh,
with the
mine
door
is too.
closed.
Oh, no, we have tons of them, but they're not on display,
Right?
which I
Why
thought
are
was
they
odd.
displayed?
I don't know, Aim. I don't
Okay.
know. Jessica, if you're listening, please let us know.
She has a hat wall,
I did see that. My
a la the
husband would love
wigs
that.
from Schitt's Creek. She has a hat wall, like Austin from Maps.
Oh, that was a great show.
Um, So anyway, so she's decorating, and Craig tells us now he's just driving around in this truck bitching. And he's like, it's
He's
been
just
real rough.
he's just a guy that's living for his truck.
I can relate to this so hard.
I
So
know.
Timmy got a new truck. Like it's a used truck, but new to him. Probably the
Sure.
nicest truck he's ever owned, right?
It is beautiful.
We get it home. He is incensed that somebody put the tires on with the white letters facing outside. Okay, he is incensed by this.
Oh, no.
And he's also not happy with the wheels. And this is all I've heard about for the past 2 weeks. So finally I said to him, "Okay, just get the wheels." Cuz he was going, "When I have to put new tires on this, I'm getting new wheels and I'm making them swap those tires and put the, whatever."
Uh-huh.
So then finally I said, and my husband, he does not spend money.
I know. I know he
Finally I
doesn't.
said, "Okay, if you just want to get the goddamn wheels, get them." So he got them. He's driving around taking pictures of it, showing everybody. He got the
I love
wheels flipped
him.
inside out. He's, like, obsessed. So a man living for his truck, I fully understand.
I love it.
I get
I
it
love it.
100%.
Well, that's like my kid just bought his first on his own purchase of a
That's
vehicle
exciting.
this week. It was really exciting. Yeah.
Really exciting. So they talk about he's talking about, like, how she's pregnant and, those hormones and blah,
I
blah,
know.
blah.
Mhm.
And then he gets home and they talk about how expensive it's gonna be for them to have this baby, and he tells us her spending is out of control and he's over it. And I wrote, "This baby's room is wild. I mean, it's well done, but she could have gotten off much cheaper."
Yeah,
Like,
definitely. Definitely. But how
Craig
many
says
of
she
us
likes bougie ass shit. That's what
I
he
know.
says.
Oh, she has shit. And he's over it.
He's over it. He's over it.
How many of us, though, haven't been in a situation where we're just spending money to fill a void? I mean, I
I
see her.
don't, but I have a weird relationship with money. So
I
I will
know.
eat to fill the void. I will drink to
Mm,
fill the void. I'll do a lot of other terrible things, but
mhm.
I'm weird about spending money.
Yeah, I'm one of those I'll do all the things. It's cyclical for me. Sometimes it's eating, sometimes it's shopping.
I know, but I don't know, and she kinda does say that. She kinda says,
Yeah,
like, and you and I can relate to this. So let me just say, I have not always been good with money by
right.
any stretch of the imagination. So, absolutely, there have been times in my life where we once lived so poor that once I was able to make ends meet, I was like, "Oh, I'm going out and buying this and buying that, buying a car,
Mhm,
but," you know?
mhm,
So
mhm.
I get that, and that's kinda what she says, like, when she before he got out of jail, she was living so frugally that now they have all the savings and, so, anyway. So, she says that she makes a good point, and she says that she wasn't able to save money because she was the one who's paying to come and see him all the time from Australia,
Mm.
and that's
Which brings
expensive.
yes, which brings up an interesting topic because he has said multiple times, how many times, that he gave her $15,000 and he doesn't know what she did with it. And
Mhm.
I'm thinking it had to have been a couple $1,000s each time she came to the States, right?
Yeah, yeah, and she says later that some of that was for the visa.
Right.
The
Right.
visa's expensive.
Expensive, I'm
Yeah.
sure.
So later he's chilling on his phone. I don't know, playing Candy Crush. Who knows what he's doing? Watching OnlyFans. And she's bringing in Amazon boxes, like 15 of them. And she's like, "Can you help me out here?" Now, I want to say something.
Hmm,
There's a way he can stop this. Don't give her money and don't give her access to your money. Like, I hate to be that,
I
stringent
know.
about something, and I don't like treating women like that.
I
But
know.
just say to her, "How much do you need a week to live on? And that's what I'll give you until this baby's born and we get on our feet." But here's my theory. This is what I think.
Okay.
I think he's just as bad with money.
Oh, you
And
do.
so that's not going to be a thing. Yeah.
Why do you think that?
Did he need that truck?
I know. So here I have some I know,
I'm
I
going
have
to tell
some
you right
thoughts
now,
on that
that's
too.
easily a $35,000 truck. I don't know if you guys have been truck
Oh,
shopping lately.
oh, it is.
That's an expensive truck.
But
Used. I know
also
it's used, but it's expensive.
yeah, but she's made like comments, multiple comments about how much they spend in gas. Like, why would he buy a V8?
Yeah, he has a
Like,
V8.
it just felt
Mhm.
like there could have been a better choice made there. But
And
who am I to judge?
I understand he works hard. He worked all
Yeah,
this time. He wanted that. That's fine, but then you also have to take the responsibility of you have a baby coming.
right.
And you did that.
Right, 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 right,
You know
right,
what I
right.
mean? So like,
Yes. Yeah, I know.
but he says she keeps spending with the credit card. Take the credit card.
But isn't she
There are
also
times I wish Timmy took the credit card from me when we were first
same,
married. Like, take it,
same.
please.
Yes. Cut me off.
Right. And
Yes.
I don't
But
know.
she from what I understand, she works too, though. They don't right? They
Well,
don't
then
ever
maybe
really
okay, then
say.
here's the thing, then maybe because 'cause you're right, it feels icky to say not to give her money.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
maybe then the key is that they each have their money, they each pay their own bills, they put 50% in for the house, you know what I
Mhm.
mean? Like, whatever, 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 he gets groceries this week, she gets it next week, and they have to do that,
Yeah,
and sometimes when you're bad with money or you have one person that is, that's what you have to do.
right, and it doesn't seem like those are conversations that they've actually had.
No. But I just wrote,
Yeah,
like, there are ways to solve this.
there are.
Like,
100%
you
there
also
are.
don't sit there and let your partner drag you into bankruptcy. Like, that's not a good move either. You know what I mean?
I know. I think is there a part of him that's afraid to rock the boat too much though? Because I don't know. Like I'm
I
struggling to
can't get a
find
read
out.
on this guy. I
Me
can't.
too. That's exactly what I was just gonna say. Like I'm struggling to get a real read on him.
Me too. I can't tell if he loves her and is just kinda letting her do this, but then he says the weird shit. So let's get
Mm,
into the weird,
yeah.
red flaggy shit that he says. He says, he doesn't feel respected in the relationship.
Yeah. What?
And he starts talking about how, like, if you're not respected by your what, and he see like, okay, here's why I think it bothers me. I think he's conflating respect with obedience,
I agree with
and
that.
that bothers me.
Yes. Yes. Thank
He's
you.
basically
Yes.
saying, like, if she doesn't obey me, she doesn't respect me.
Yeah. I
Ugh.
completely agree with that.
Yeah,
Yes. I see that. And
kind of gross.
that's gross. And
Mhm.
that scares me for her because I was in a relationship like that once upon a time, and it's not a good place to be in.
I mean, there is. 100% such thing as financial abuse. You know
Oh,
what I mean?
yeah. Oh, yeah.
This is why, yeah, I'm gonna retract that he has to take over the money because I don't want him having that kind of control over her.
Mhm. Yeah,
But
I don't know
but
that yeah.
he can stop her from accessing his money. If
He
she
can.
works and she has her own money, then she should have access to her own money.
Sure, yeah.
And then they could figure it out. Like if he makes 3 times what she makes, then maybe he's the one who pays the rent and she pays other
Right.
things. You know what I
See,
mean? Figure
what
it out.
they need to do is those 2 need to come and meet with us in our old office. I will sit down with the spreadsheet,
With
we'll
the
go over the
spreadsheet.
bills with them,
Mhm.
and we'll fix
Mhm.
this for them. They need
Mhm.
this is what we can do for people. I
Guys,
finally figured out what we have to offer the world.
if you didn't know, Stephanie and I were the masters of this.
Yes. I still am kind of.
I still am too. I have an
Yeah.
extensive spreadsheet.
Oh, me too. It's
Yeah.
great, and I
Yep.
live and die by it, and I'm in it every day
Same.
multiple times a day.
Same. You could ask me right now the balances on every one of my bank accounts and I know them.
Me too. Mhm.
Mhm. Cuz when you live penny to penny, you've got to know.
Yeah,
You've
you
got to
do.
know. And
You just
we
do.
might not, we're a little better today,
Of
but
course,
for
yes.
many, many years in our 20s, that's what we did.
Pretty much that entire decade of my life.
Me
Let's
too.
be real. Like, that's not even an exaggeration.
Me too. I
I
always
got
say
married at 20, I had my boys at 22. I mean, that was that entire decade.
when I got divorced, my credit score was in the low 400s.
Oh, yeah, mine too. Mhm.
That's low.
Yeah, no, it's
You
bad.
can't get very far with
No, you're not
that.
getting far, and I know I've been there. I've dug myself out of that hole
Yep.
before. Yep.
But dude, here's the fucked up thing, right? Like I've dug myself out of that hole a couple times.
Yes, I'm not of course, and I probably will again at some point if I'm being real.
Uh, and
I
now I
hope
have no
not.
job. So here we go.
Oh, stop. You're
All
the
right.
busiest person I know. I spoke to you more when you were working full time than I do now. You guys, I literally texted Amy yesterday and I was like,
Uh,
why don't I hear from you anymore? I don't like unemployed Amy. I want my friend back.
mhm, mhm. And I was like, I'm busy. I'm busy. I'm watching a cult doc. I'm watching Prison Brides. I'm watching Single Life. I got to call you back.
She's like, I'm making stew. I'm like, well,
I was
so
making stew when you called me. I make
whatever.
a good beef stew.
I bet you do.
Yeah.
I
I
bet
do
it's a
the
lot
Rachel
like the
Ray
mixture.
rest I do the Rachel Ray recipe to get Timmy in the mood.
Oh, I can see
Yes.
how that would
Yeah.
work.
Mhm.
Hmm.
So anyway, back to these two. They have a display shelf with the tumblers. She's bringing up the V8 with the gas mileage. And then she tells the camera like, "This is not good. I don't know how it's going to go down." So that's where we leave them.
Mm.
Now we get
How about how
Gabriella.
quickly, hold up for a
Go
sec.
ahead.
How about how quickly she advanced to 7 months pregnant?
She did advance quite quickly. And how
Like,
about him when he's kicking the Amazon boxes? Have
I
we all been there
know.
when we have 85 boxes that we're trying to get through?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
that's been my life recently with my soap expedition.
Yes.
The
Yes.
soap boxes and supplies just keep
Yep.
coming.
Yep.
Poor
I
husband.
I did feel her though when she was obsessing over a rug. Because how often do we do this?
How often have you and I obsessed over
Mhm.
you guys?
We've exchanged rugs.
Yes, we have. In fact, I still have that last one you gave me that I'm still trying to figure out where I want it. I have an
Mhm.
idea, but I want Patrick to redo the floor first, so it's
That
still
was a
it's in the
freebie that I
closet.
got from
I
Overstock.
rem I
Mhm.
remember.
Yeah.
Um, but you guys, it's really funny whenever Amy and I are planning to like redo a room or whatever, one of us is always texting the other one pictures of a room from different angles,
Right. But
drawing
tell
out
them what I do to
things.
you. Tell them what I do to you.
Oh, well, all right. So I'll text Amy and be like, I need an idea. I have to put something on this wall. My budget is $300.
So
And
she's
she'll,
asking like what kind of maybe like a shelf, maybe a
yeah,
painting, like asking for something small.
right. And then Amy will come back with an entire plan that's going to cost me
Or I come over
$35,000.
your house.
And she's like, blow this wall out,
I'm like,
knock
you gotta
this
knock
down,
this
put these.
wall out. You gotta move this here. You gotta do
I'm like, dude.
this. I know. I know.
She
What it
certainly
is?
likes to spend other people's money.
You know what it is? I'm a problem solver. And
Yes.
I used to live in a very small chopped up house.
I know.
And I was always thinking, how could I get more space? How could I get more
I
space?
know.
And now I feel like you're always looking for more space, even
Right.
though I don't think you're going to need it very soon because your boys are almost out of college.
I
But
know.
I'm always telling you, like, I think you can make space here, space here. Like I'm a thinker.
She
I'm
is
like
a
Nick
thinker.
Davis from Seeking Sister Wife. I just sit home and think and
She's a
feel.
thinker. She is, and she has no problem spending money you don't have.
I don't. I
I
don't.
have to be like, "Can we reel it back in? That's not what I asked you for."
I
And then
know. I know.
sometimes I'll end up in, like, this depression over, like, I hate my house because I can't afford to blow that wall
No, your
out.
house is amazing. But don't forget too, I have a little bit of carpenter's wife privilege
I know,
because like I can do these things and they don't cost me anything.
right.
But I'm forgetting like if you're like Patrick can do a lot, but like if you're gonna like
Oh,
blow
yeah.
through and do major construction, you're gonna need to hire somebody to do that.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
so
yeah,
I
yeah.
forget sometimes that that's
Yeah, I know.
a real issue. And I
It's a real
apologize.
problem for us people in the real world.
All right, let's go to Gabriella and Jamal.
Oof.
These two are all over Instagram making out,
I know.
yeah. So she's returning home married, and
Mhm.
her
Oh.
sister greets her at the airport, and she's doing the "Oh, I'm so happy for you,"
Yeah.
but secretly like she's fighting back tears.
Yeah, mhm. Yeah, she's not happy.
She's like, "How was your wedding? Was it in the prison?" And she's like, "Yeah, it
Oh,
was in the
yeah.
prison. Like they don't just
Yeah.
let him out, let him go to a church." So
Oh.
mom sees her immediately. Oh, here, I even have it written down. Mom sees her and immediately starts crying, saying, "What did you do? What did you do? My
Yeah.
sweet darling, what did you
I
do?"
know. I'm like, "No one's ever called me their sweet darling."
Yes.
I want this mom.
The mom is sweet.
The mom was sweet.
She is, but she's not able to put her game face on and hide her disappointment. I feel like as parents, we have to do that a lot. So mom's like, "How was your wedding in prison?" And Gabriella shows her some pictures, and they're the like back to back guns up, like the
Yeah.
Charlie's Angels
Oh,
pictures. Like
why?
they always do those in prison. I have no
But
idea why.
why? I don't understand. It's the
I don't
strangest pose.
I don't think they're allowed to. I don't know. They look like prom pictures almost. It
I
doesn't look like
know.
they're really allowed to really be touching each other. I don't know.
Oh, I don't know. They're always they're
Yeah,
hugging and kissing
but like
and
it has to be a certain pose. We see this all the time. I don't know what's
yeah,
going on.
maybe. I don't know. I don't know.
So mom says she's really laying it on.
She is.
I don't eat. I don't sleep. I am broken in my mind.
I know. How
She's
sweet.
really.
I am broken in my mind.
This has happened to me. I think when I married my first husband, I think I broke my mom and dad's brain.
I think you probably did
Hmm.
too.
Yep.
And
So
if we were friends then, my brain might have been broken as well.
absolutely.
Yeah.
So Gabrielle assures mom that she loves Jamal. Mom's like, we'll see how this works out. Then Jamal calls, and real awkward,
She's
Gabriella
like,
puts mom on the phone with him.
but she's like, here, talk to my mom. And he's like, hello.
Well, no, he goes, I'm scared to talk to your mom.
I know. After that, yeah, yeah, yeah.
So mom's like, hi. And it's real weird.
It's
How are
super
you? He's like,
awkward.
well, I'm in jail for a crime I didn't commit, but otherwise good.
Yeah, I know. I know. It
So
was so weird.
he does tell mom, like, I love Gabriella so much. She's the best. I know this is really hard for her, for you, but I love her more and more each day. And mom's like, we'll see. We'll see
Yeah.
about that, dude.
She's holding out before.
She is. She
Yeah.
is. She's got her game face on now. And then they hang up and mom sobs and she just tells the camera, like, I love Gabriella so much. I just want her to be happy. We'll just have to see what happens.
Yeah. I
That's it.
know.
Okay. Hey everyone, stay tuned. Little Miss Recap will be right back after these words. Now we're going to talk about Emma and Curtis.
Curtis. Cut.
And we'll end with Hottie McCrimes.
Hottie McCrimes.
Trigger warning, guys. We're going to be talking about domestic violence and physical abuse in this section. So if you want to, I'll timestamp it. And then if you want to skip it, you can. Okay. So Emma is waiting to see if Curtis is getting out of jail or not. And he's like, he's either, Steph, getting out this week or in 2042. Those are the options.
Right?
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's not forget he's serving 7 years for carjacking. I'm like, this math ain't mathin'. Because if he's only serving 7 years, how could they hold him till 2042? I mean, I'm not a mathematician, but 2042 is more than 7 years away from now.
Was it like 7 to 20 years or something?
I have no clue.
I don't know either. I don't know either.
Curt tells the camera that he is blessed to have Emma in his life and he just wants to consummate that marriage.
He just wants to build a goddamn bridge.
Oh, God, the dick bridge. He calls her and he's like, guess what? I got my parole. And then he says, "So you'll have some spaghetti and chicken waiting for me, right?" And I'm like, "I feel seen."
I know.
After serving 7 years in prison, what I would do to a plate of spaghetti would be obscene.
Yeah, or
I
like
would rub it
gr
all over my boobs and then shove it in my mouth. I don't
like,
know.
what I would do with a bowl of gravy is
Mm,
unmentionable on
I
air.
know, I know,
Mm,
I know.
mm, mm, mm.
So Emma takes dad to lunch now,
Oh,
and
this dad.
she's like, "I'm gonna drop the bomb on my dad, so let's see
I
how this goes."
know. I know this
S
dad.
so she's like, "Oh, guess what, dad? Kurt's getting out in 3 months. He'll be home in 3 months because he got parole." And dad's like, "Oh, so I guess you'll be heading to the US." And she's like, "Yep. I gotta get a new place for him to parole to because he's not able to parole to his grandmother's or his mother's."
His mom's or something,
Yeah.
yeah.
Dad tells the camera, "This is tough letting her leave the country for some guy who's in jail."
Yeah.
So then she
How
says, go ahead, I'm
No,
sorry.
I was just saying, like, how sweet is this dad, though?
You know
I
what?
really
This
liked
dad
him.
strikes the perfect balance between, like, you're 33 and you need to live your own life
Yes, I agreed.
and support.
Yeah. Mhm,
Mhm.
mhm.
So she says she needs to leave England because it has a lot of bad memories. And dad says, "You need to start a new life. I get it." And she says, "Well, as long as he's not beating me up, it's a step up."
That was
Then she has to
hard.
leave the table.
That was
Then she
hard.
tells us about her past relationship. We see photos of her bruises and the abuse that she has suffered. She says she would even have to hide the knives sometime when making dinner for her ex because she didn't know what kind of mood he would be in and what would happen. And it's
That's
heartbreaking.
that was terrifying, and I
Mhm.
wonder, like, is he in prison? Or do you think
I
she
don't
just got
know.
away from him?
I think she just got away from him, but I will tell you that this explains a lot of why she finds Kurt safe because
Yeah, locked
he
up.
can't touch her. Right.
Exactly. Yeah.
And she does say that when they first connected, he was somebody that she could confide in and he made her feel not crazy and he made her feel
Yeah.
safe. And
She even says that he was like her therapist, which were
I
big
know,
words.
but this is a guy who committed a violent crime.
I know.
Like the crime that the difference between, I shouldn't say the complete difference, but I talked about this before. Like Love After Lockup is kind of a lighter watch because a lot of the crimes are not victimless crimes because no crime is victimless, but
Right.
like stupid or smaller or more or less
Not as
consequential
severe.
Yes,
Mhm.
thank you.
Mhm.
These are crimes like real bad stuff.
Yeah.
Like
Real
breaking into
bad
people's
stuff.
houses, carjacking with weapons, like
I know.
scary stuff,
Murder.
real scary stuff. So, like, I'm worried that she's going from one bad situation into a tenuous at best.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with that more.
I don't know.
And I wanna know if she needs to be in real therapy if she's not. I'm just saying.
100%. 100%.
Because before she comes here and starts a life with this guy, I feel like she needs to figure her shit out.
Yeah,
I'm just worried for
she
her.
needs to do a lot of like inner work.
Yeah, yeah.
I agree 100%.
Mm.
So she says that Kurt was her soft place to fall when they first met. And dad says, "You've been through a lot, I know, but you've gotten through it." And he says, "Whatever happens, we'll be there for you. Like, we're on a plane, we're coming to you, we got you."
Mhm.
And he does say, she's 33 now and she kind of needs to find her own way. And I'm like, she's 33?
Yeah.
She doesn't feel that, right? I thought
No.
she was like 25.
No, she doesn't, but she
Yeah.
is, yeah.
And let me just make it very
She's
clear. I hope that this works out for her.
Oh,
And I
yeah.
hope that Curtis is the guy that she thinks he is.
Of
But it's
course.
a big risk to take
Big.
to be with somebody who has a violent past when you've been in a violent relationship in the
I
past.
know.
That is a risk.
It's a big risk, and it scares
Yeah,
the shit out of me.
me too.
Nanny Joe, come on. Be
You ready for
safe.
some Hottie McCrimes?
Hold on. Let me get my fan. Oh my
Get
god.
your water bottle.
I know, right?
So Joseph has gotten himself an exhibition and he is
Amy,
very happy and very proud of himself, and we are too.
we are too, and he should be. Oh my god, he is so fucking
I
gorgeous.
need
What
to
is
know that
wrong
he's
with
not
me?
back in jail. I need to
I
know this.
know,
Can we
I
can we
know.
pause real quick and look?
Sure.
Okay, guys, we're back. We have not found anything indicating that he's back in jail.
No, I don't think
So
he is.
I hope, our hopes are high.
High hopes here. Real high
He's got
hopes.
high hopes. We've got high
High
hopes
hopes
that
from
Heidi McCrimes is still with us. Okay.
making his art and making that monies.
So he's doing a solo show, which is huge.
That's huge.
I mean, you're married to an artist, you know
Uh-huh.
this.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's not an easy thing to
Mm-mm.
do. And the fact that it happened so quickly for
I
him
know.
is amazing.
Well, here's the thing about it, and this is the same with writing. Like, if you have a good story
Yeah,
to
I was
help
gonna
sell your
say.
art,
Yeah,
that works. And this is a good story. Like,
it
this is
is.
a story like people want to believe in. Do you know what I mean?
Yes, I am one of those
Like
people.
this
I
kid
have
was 19, committed a pretty violent crime, went away for, 11 years or however long he was gone. Art
yeah,
saved him. He's been rehabilitated. He's back in society, and people want to believe that.
yeah.
So
But
I like it.
I even kind of believe it for him.
I do too. I
Like,
do
I
too.
really believe in his, rehabilitation. I really do.
But you know who doesn't believe in this whole art thing?
Svea.
Svea. He tells the camera they haven't had any positive chats lately, and then he calls her to tell her about the exhibition, and she says she's happy, but she's like rolling her eyes and shit on camera.
Amy, I don't like this side of her.
This is
I
not a
feel
good
like
this is not
we
a good
were
showing.
we were sold a fake Svea in the beginning, I feel like.
Yeah, she told us he catfished her, but I feel like she catfished us. Was the
Yes.
catfisher catfishing the catfished?
Thank
I don't
you.
know.
Which cat was fished here? Are you the cat or the fish?
So he says he's been dreaming about this forever, and she tells the camera she's happy only if he could sell it pretty much because right now he's not making any money. The
And
show's next Saturday. He wants her to come, and she's like, and I get her point here. She's like, I can't do this overnight. Like, it's expensive, and it doesn't sound like he's paying.
no, it
So
doesn't.
if I'm gonna give her a little bit of grace, this is the one thing. But then you
Yes.
say to him, like, "Oh my god, can you please, I know this sounds crazy, but, like, have me on FaceTime when you're
Yes.
doing your speech. Like, let me see you. Let me be there
Yes.
virtually," you know?
Yes, I would have done that.
Mhm.
But she's flat out not supporting this at all.
The next
And
time Patrick has an art show, I
okay.
need you to be virtually on his phone and just tell people that you're recluse and you don't wanna leave the house.
Okay.
Okay? And I want you, like, in your robe that I bought you,
Oh, in
like,
Hef?
drinking coffee
Yeah,
and just sitting there watching it on an
I could
iPad. We need you on a big iPad.
do you want me we need to record that and post it in Backdoor Friends? Could you imagine? Dear Lord. Me just sitting here
Oh.
and Steph and a Hef, my coffee.
And
No, I
Patrick's,
love
like, having this great show and giving this touching speech, and I'm standing there. I'll hold it up like, John Cusack in
Yes,
Help
say
Me,
anything.
Say Anything. I'll be standing there just waving you back and forth so you can
Yeah.
see.
Well, kind of like one of the first big shows that he had when we first got not when we first got together, we were together a couple of years at this point, and he's giving this great speech, and just like in Everybody Loves Raymond, he thanks everyone in the room but me.
But you? Mhm, mhm. Yep, sounds
Great.
about right.
I'll never forget. Never
What you
forget.
should be doing too is when he's giving this moving speech, you need to do things like the tea kettle will be whistling, or like you're
Oh,
yelling at the
yeah.
dog, like
Oh, yeah,
don't
the
put
dog
yourself on mute.
yeah, the dog's gonna be barking, and I'm gonna be like, "Shut up!
All
Keep it
right.
down."
Okay. So she tells the camera, like, this is a week's notice. I don't live around the corner. I can't get to
Yeah,
Germany next weekend or to
to
from
America,
Germany to
yeah.
Michigan next weekend.
Which is that's
Totally
understandable,
understandable.
especially let us not forget she is a mother.
Correct. So he says Svea is most likely not going to show up to one of the biggest days of my life, and that will make me question our relationship. And I don't agree with him on that.
I don't agree with them on
I
that either.
I
Uh,
think what should be questioning is all the attitude she's giving you.
Thank you, yes, not
Mhm.
the fact that she can't make it to this, and I do
Yes.
think that there's a part of that's probably what he meant a little bit,
Mhm.
you know,
Yeah, just that he hasn't felt support from her
supported,
in any
yeah,
way around this. Yeah, I
yeah.
agree.
And, like, I see her side of it a little bit. I mean, realistically, if this is somebody that she's planning a future with or is attempting to plan a future with, and he's not doing the things that she feels that he needs to do in order for that to happen. But I
Mhm.
feel like the way she approaches these conversations, at least from what we see, is not from a place of a partner. It seems more like from the place of a parent, and that has
Agree.
what has been driving me crazy about her this whole time.
That's a very good point. That's absolutely the vibe I'm getting. Like,
Yeah,
"Ugh, I have
right?
to mother you." And I
Yes.
get it. Like, there's a lot of us out there mothering men. We
Of course,
get it.
Amy,
But
please.
he's not asking to be mothered.
He's not, and I
No.
don't think he needs to be.
Mm-mm. Not yet, anyway.
I do still kind of wanna know, though, is if he's still staying in that apartment, how is he paying for it if he's not
Well, he
working?
says he has a couple $1,000s saved up,
True, that's right.
but he
Yeah, okay.
says he
Good.
doesn't have like, he doesn't have much time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know.
So he's getting ready for the exhibition. He's been doing promotion on TV and radio. We see him doing some interviews. He calls Svea and she basically says she wants it all to go well, but she can't fly to Michigan for the weekend. She
Right.
tells the camera it's too much stress, it's too much money, and he says he's really hurt by this. Then she says, I love you. And he says to the producer, I better stay on camera because that's when she tells me she loves me.
I know. And notice, excuse me, I have noticed throughout this episode, every time they were on the phone, he ends the call by saying, I do love you.
Mm-hmm.
Notice that.
Mm-hmm.
I do love
Yeah.
you,
Yeah.
which was
It's
weird.
bad.
So, like,
It's
are
this
there
is
conversations happening off camera where she's questioning him?
this is not gonna last.
No, it's not.
Somebody is gonna scoop this guy up.
And it should be me. No, I'm just teasing. It
So
might be me, guys.
now we see him getting ready, and like you said, he looks amazing.
Oh my God. He
Hmm.
looked so great. And I'm so happy for him.
And Tamarcus looks great too. And
I
he's
know. I
driving
love
him there, and he's
DeMarcus.
got the nice camera, the SLR, the digital SLR for pics. He's ready.
I know. I
Joseph
know.
says he has a little bit of savings put aside, but not enough to last very long, so he needs to make something on this show. The show is really well attended.
How about they say it's the most successful opening they've ever had?
He
Ever.
gives a fantastic speech about
I
making
know.
mistake as a young man and his art getting him through it. He tells the camera, like, I don't feel like Savea's behind me on this. She's not, dude. I'm
No, she's
sorry.
not.
She's just not.
She's not.
And, some people might say they understand her point of view.
Of course.
Sure. And there is merit to it. Like, he does
Sure.
need to have a real job too.
Of course.
But you
Sure,
need to
sure.
put that aside for one day
Yeah.
and support him on this one thing. Do you know what I mean? While also
Right.
saying, I also expect you to have a job.
And also because I don't think she's appreciating what an accomplishment this is.
Right.
This
Right.
is a
It's huge.
huge accomplishment
It's
for an
huge.
artist. It's
Mhm.
huge.
He sells 25 pieces.
I mean, it's incredible.
And I mean,
That's
we see even the
incredible.
little pieces are going for like 90. Now the gallery takes what, 30%?
Usually 30-ish to
So he's
40
not going to walk
sometimes.
away with that much. But
Right.
you say even if they're taking 30 or 40%, I mean, that's a lot of money. I can't
Mhm.
do math, but
Could
that
be.
feels like a lot of money.
Right.
Okay.
To
I mean,
some
he's
of
going to
us,
make a
sure.
couple grand. He's going to make a couple
Yeah.
grand, hopefully.
I would hope so.
So the gallery owner is like, this is the most successful show we've ever had. And they hug.
I know. That was really sweet.
Hmm.
So
If
he
he were
touched.
smart, he would take this on the road.
I know. I was just going to say, where do you think we can buy a piece of his art?
Like, dead serious. He should be like, because
Uh,
one thing gallery owners like is when they can sell pieces too, because they don't
yeah.
make
They don't.
money unless you sell your art.
Exactly. I
So,
know.
like, if Joseph can go around, like, same thing in publishing, right? If I could send my book out to a publisher and say, hey, I sold 2,000 copies of this out of the trunk of my car, I didn't even
Yeah.
have big distribution, they're
Yeah.
going to love that.
Right.
So he
Right.
needs
Right.
to, Joseph, you need to call me because I need to write up a letter for you that you need to use all of this as selling points. You need to reach out to other galleries. You need to take this into Chicago. You need to go
Yeah.
into, I don't know, whatever bigger cities there are in Michigan. And I know Chicago's not there, but I'm just
No.
saying it's nearby.
Yes.
In the Rust
Ish.
Belt. They're in the Rust Belt.
Yeah.
So he needs to take this on the road, hit some of the
I
bigger
know.
cities.
I
Absolutely.
know. I wonder if I'm going to do some research. I wonder if he has a
Detroit?
website.
Detroit. That's what I
Detroit.
was
Yeah,
thinking
that's
of.
why I'm like,
Take it to
why are we not
Detroit.
getting? Yeah.
Detroit, Chicago, Indianapolis, Cincinnati, all those big cities out
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, yeah.
Do it, dude.
He can do
Because
it.
they're in Grand Rapids now.
You can do it.
So he tells the camera he's hurt that Svea doesn't support this, and he starts to cry.
I know that made me sad. I'll comfort you, Hottie
And he says
McGrimes.
he doesn't know if they're going to be able to get past that. And that's it. That's the end of the
Do
episode.
you think I could hold him against my bosom
Mm.
while I while
Then
I,
can I hold him from the other
console
side
him.
against my bosom?
You mean you wanna sandwich him? Is that what you're saying? Are we thruppling?
He I believe in his redemption. I
I
believe
do
in
too.
this. Like,
I do too.
come on.
He's the only one that I believe in, I'm not gonna lie. At this point,
The
he's the
reason
only one.
But there's a couple things going on. The reason I believe in him the most out of anybody is A, I feel like he has the language and the introspection of somebody who
Yes.
truly
Has done the work on
has done
themselves,
the work.
or
Yes.
at least has looked inwards, right?
Yes. And B, I think that we know him the best, kind of. Like, I
Yeah.
feel like we've spent a lot of time with him.
Well, we have because, again, he's one of the few that's not in prison anymore,
Yeah, like,
right?
I just don't, like, I don't know Craig. I
Craig?
don't know Michael, thank God.
Oh,
You
thank
know what I
God.
mean? Like, I
Yeah.
don't know.
I'm glad he's back in prison, no offense, but he
Yeah.
scares the shit out of me.
So next week is the finale, and we see, a lot of these storylines wrapping up. So we'll find out what
Yeah.
happens.
What do
I
you
really
think? I
don't
mean,
see Svea and Hottie McCrimes going the distance.
and like how are they going to wrap this up in a week?
Well, he's going to be stabbed by somebody.
Oh my God, I can't. That's terrifying. What is happening on this
Okay,
next time on?
let's predict if we can
Okay,
what the
okay, okay,
situation
okay.
is. So as you guys know in the
Mm,
preview, we hear a frantic 911 call from Hottie McCrime saying that his life's in danger. Somebody get there. He has a knife. What do we think happened? I think he's just maybe in a bad neighborhood. Maybe some people that he used to run with found him,
I know. I was wondering that too.
but I
Is
don't
he
necessarily think he is the instigator of trouble.
I'm hoping not. I don't think so either.
Hmm.
I don't know what I think. I don't think it's anything that he did. It seemed to me more like he stumbled upon a situation, which is kind
Maybe,
of what I was hoping for. I don't know. We'll see. I
maybe.
mean, there's no way
Yeah.
to know until we watch, I guess, but
Do you think Svea and him will work out?
absolutely not.
Do you think Jessica and Craig will? Well, we know what happened to them.
I mean, no.
Mm, okay.
What
Do you
about Emma
think
and
Aaron's going to
Curtis?
go home and just be better?
I think Erin's going to go home and I hope she's doing better.
Yeah.
I really
Um,
hope for her sake that, and I hate that I keep saying this, I hope she gets to therapy. I sound like an ass and I don't mean it like that, but I
no, we
really
are
do.
big proponents of therapy at
Right.
Little
But
Miss
I
Recap.
really, really, really hope for her sake and the sake of her child that she's
Yeah.
working on herself so that she doesn't repeat this
This
again.
pattern.
Yeah.
Emma and Curtis, I believe, are still together because they're all over Instagram, and so are Jamal and Gabriella. So
Yeah.
I think
I
they're all still
know.
together. Oh, we get to see the return of Kim Kardashian next week.
Yes. 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 I
She's
have
getting married to Cage.
Andrea. Yes.
Yes.
Andrea. I
Yes.
forget again. I'm
So we
doing it
forgot they
again.
even existed, but
I
they're
did.
back. Like,
Isn't that?
they got paid for this season. They were literally on 3 episodes.
I know. I've truly forgot about them until they showed her face. I was like, oh, her. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Totally
It's
forgot
weird.
you existed.
All
I
right,
don't know. Do you
guys.
think we're going to get another season of this?
No, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. Hmm.
I feel
Let's
like not
see.
much happens.
No, it doesn't. I feel
Something
like
here's the mistake they made, I think. I think they took on too many couples.
agreed.
I think if we had had the season of just the 4 couples,
3 or
maybe,
4 couples, sure.
we would have gotten to know them better. Like, look how well we can have these nice conversations about Svea and Hottie
And
McCrimes because we know them more.
right. Yeah,
I don't
so I
know.
almost feel like they could have broken it up
Yeah.
into like separate seasons with different couples, or not
Yeah.
like you said, not have thrown so many into this one and played
Like,
out more
I
of
think
the
it would
ones
have
that
been
we have.
interesting to have the Michigan prison wives all in their own season,
Me too. Yes,
you
and to
know?
see how like they all
Mhm.
interact and,
Mhm.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. I
All
don't
right,
know.
guys. We'll be back next week with this. We'll be back next Thursday with some maths. If you guys didn't listen to our episode yesterday, shit got wild.
Wild, you guys.
It was crazy. It was
We're
crazy.
we're finally getting the shit we've been begging for
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
77 episodes.
Yep. Yep.
Yes.
And
Getting it.
again, I know we talked about Garrison Brown at the beginning of this. I put out an episode or announcement Wednesday night, not last night, that you can listen to about future plans. And I guess all I want to say on that is, hug your kids a little tighter tonight. That's
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, Steffi. Love you.
Love your bones.